Da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da dun. He's redheaded and weird. I'm dark haired and weird. No. Ah, crud. I had something in my head. Forget it. Just cut it off with that da 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 da. Whatever. I'm not even going to do a second try. This is TV, guys. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian, and you screwing up is probably funnier than if you had gotten it right.
It is. I had like this whole thing planned out for like this first stanza, and I was gonna say you're redheaded with a beard, and I'm dark haired and kind of weird. Yeah, and then I just jumped them. Yeah, you are redheaded and weird. That's true though. Fits much better. This is what happens when I don't write it as a script. I'm like, no, I'll get it. I got it.
Yeah. So we were on a little bit of a time crunch recording, and Matt's like, hold on a second. I need to think of lyrics in my head. Just wait.
I wrote what you didn't hear. I wrote all of that in like 30 seconds. So that it wasn't going to be that good anyway.
And while he was doing it, I was like awkwardly staring at him over Zoom.
That's true. Like he put his hands on his chin and just like his mouth was agape. And I'm like, dude, calm down.
Who says agape? Who talks like that?
I do. I am amazing. Okay, I'm the best host you'll ever see. But hey, what are we talking about today? Obviously, we're talking about theme songs.
We already did that. We should do something different.
We're going to do something different. We're not just talking about theme songs. We're talking about instrumental theme songs. So Addams Family doesn't really fit the bill because it has lyrics. We're going to talk about theme songs that do not have lyrics to them.
And I'm going to give a disclaimer. You know, sometimes there's instrumental theme songs. You're like, oh, well, there's actually a different version that has lyrics. And technically, don't think about that. If any of our lyrics, songs have versions with lyrics, I didn't look up into mine. They still count because the main theme that everyone thinks of does not have lyrics. So don't get all technical if we got something technically wrong.
I think you kind of gave one of yours away, and that's not on my list. That might be one you're like, oh, I think we might have the same number one. We don't, but that, if I'm thinking of the right one, and I'll say it at the end if we haven't gotten to it. Yeah. But if I'm thinking of the right one, that's a great pick. It's a very good musical number. It just didn't hit my list.
Okay.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hey, let's just even jump into it. I know that we like to sometimes woo each other and get our feet wet a little bit, but no, we're just jumping in hot and heavy. Here we go. What's your number 3?
I don't like your imagery at all.
I hang out with Terrence too much on that one. Every now and then, like because him and I are like, let's just go ahead and take it to the next level. We keep one-upping each other, and it goes to places we never really want our podcast to go.
So the podcast with 2 pastors is the one that gets more inappropriate?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, my number 3 is a show we've mentioned that I've watched growing up. Matt, you didn't. It's Recess, which has a great theme song. Do you know anything about the Recess theme song?
I don't. I can real quick listen to like something. I know you're gonna play a clip of it, so
it's like a very upbeat, like instrumental, like big band kind of introduction where there's like it opens up with the timpanis, and then it goes into flutes, and then the trumpets come blaring in. And it's got a little bit of like a call and response kind of thing because the flutes are like da 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 da, and then all of a sudden the trumpets come in with the same one like ba ba da ba 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 ba, and it's just. Oh, it just fits with the shots you're seeing as you're panning across the recess yard, see what everybody's doing, and it just gets you pumped.
It's very militant.
Yeah. Did you listen to a little bit of it?
I'm listening to it right now. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a song like if Hogan's Heroes, I can't remember Hogan's Heroes theme, but it really conjures that imagery to mind.
Yeah, I think it's very similar in like the style of it because it's like the big band. I love that it opens up how it opens up, and it just at the end just keeps going, and it ends with like the door clang because like it's saying, okay, recess is over, and it's one of those. It just gets you in the mood to watch the show. I when I played trumpet, well, I still do. I just haven't in years. I would love to learn how to play that theme song.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice and peppy and upbeat. I was never, as you know, a Recess fan. I mean, I was a fan of the actual Recess, not the TV show. So
yeah, I still think that you and your kids would probably like Recess.
Speaking of Hogan's Heroes, like with the show Recess, is it that type where it's, obviously not that heavy of subject,
Yeah.
but like staying out of, like getting into trouble during recess and staying away from teachers? Or is it more like the Phineas and Ferb type of like, look at these guys, this group having fun that are just able to do whatever they want and their minds take them to these places?
A little bit of both. The main thing is you have the main six characters who are the friend group, and I think I mentioned last time how they're all such very, very different. You wouldn't think they'd be friends together. And the ringleader is TJ, and he's one of these very much kind of like Keenan and Kel, or like Lewis from Even Stevens, where he likes to get these schemes and kind of get into trouble, and he's like on all the teachers' radars. And especially the monitor for recess is this old cranky lady, Miss Finster, and she's got her own little tattletale student Randall, who and it's always about Randall's got to go tell Miss Finster what TJ and the gang is up to, and kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yep, that sounds par for the course and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, mine is from a show. This is a rare instance when the song is probably more popular than the show. I've heard of this before, but the song was like really popular. It's called the theme from Peter Gunn, and you've heard this song. It's the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you're gonna get these audio clips, so you don't need me singing it. So here it is. Listen here. So the reason why I picked this is this song is so like cool. I want to say it's one of those songs that really epitomizes that it's like the spy type theme, and you really just get thrown into like this. I'm in the mood for like that sort of a TV show. There's like these very popular procedural like spy type shows back then. Like Get Smart was another one. Get Smart had a really good theme as well. I love the intro to Get Smart. I'd always enjoy watching Maxwell Smart walk down the hallway of all these doors opening to get to the phone booth that takes them to wherever their headquarters is. But this is that same type, and this is one of those songs that is bigger than the show. I've never watched a single episode of Peter Gunn, so I can't tell you anything about the TV show. I can only tell you, like, this song has popped up in Blues Brothers. It's popped up in other things that I'll bring up for a trivia mention later. Yeah. But if you played on a pep band, most likely you've played this song. Yep. It's a very popular song.
I played it in pep band, and I was also going to bring up that they played it when they go to Elwood's apartment in Blues Brothers.
Look at that. I took all of your ammo of what to talk about with this.
It's like, yeah, I've got interesting tidbits. Nope, not anymore.
I guess I can't say anything. Well, that's it. There you go. There's our pick number 3.
All right. My pick number 2 is a show we've both seen, both near and dear to our hearts. It is the theme song to Parks and Recreation. Was this on your list?
It's not. To me, it's not like one of those that stands out that deserves to be in a top 3.
The reason it is because of the extended theme song, which really only played it much in like the earlier seasons. Because I've been watching some of season 2. You know, it's kind of like Recess. We got the peppy trumpet playing, like da 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 da, and all that. I get why I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I'm going to play a little bit of it, but you kind of get this like triumphant, peppy stuff. When it goes into the second verse, like or verse, whatever, they get some like not weird, but like kind of somber instrumental versions with it, with the strings, because they got the string chorus kind of going like underneath the peppy trumpet, and it kind of gets a weird tone. It kind of evokes like struggle and triumph in the same thing. I think it kind of fits with the show, because a lot of times these characters are going through real struggles, and then all of a sudden it's like, but no, like through Leslie Knope and all of her stuff, they're going to triumph through it. It kind of just, I think it fits really well with the show, and I wish they used that kind of juxtaposition of the two different music qualities more often.
Yeah, like I said, it's not so iconic for me. Like my number 2 and number 1, I guess that's more where I'm leaning on these top three. Like number three, I put the Peter Gunn theme is
Yeah.
cool, and I guess it is iconic too. I pick like iconic for all three of these. Parks and Rec, that intro, it feels more like a guilty pleasure, like a song that you'd enjoy. Like The Office, I like the theme song to The Office. It's short and sweet and succinct, and I actually think it's probably a little better than the Parks and Rec theme. But it definitely is not going to hit my top three.
It's not in mine either. I almost could put on there just because I know people are expecting us to put The Office on there, but I don't know. I like my three better.
Yeah, for me, I find like, okay, here's what my number two is. This one's to me like the definition of iconic. I don't think you get much more iconic than this, except for my number one. Iconic for me is the Simpsons theme. Now, sure, at the very beginning, it's The Simpsons, there's that as lyric if you want to be technical, but it really is not a lyrical song. The whole thing is written by Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman is a tremendous composer. He's done a lot of amazing works. Like any Tim Burton movie, Danny Elfman has done the music for it. And so, and in fact, he like sit down meeting with Matt Groening, and like after Matt gave the pitch meeting for it, he's like, I don't know if I'm your guy for this. And like as he was leaving and as he was driving home, the theme came to him. Drive home, and which is kind of funny to me because it's like I feel like the juxtaposition and this song, there's a lot of dissonance that happens where it seems like the bass is up bump 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 just like that traditional whatever, but then like there's like all of these chords that you have all of this like flats in, and I've played this on piano and I'm like, what are you doing with all of these flats? They shouldn't be in this chord. And like it pulls it off and it sounds good. And there's constant key changes. It's continually working its way up and changing throughout the whole theme. And I mean, I could include bonus points because the Simpsons intros are always legendary and fantastic, and they keep changing them up. But just the song in and of itself stands on its own. It's fun, and it's lighthearted and peppy.
And it fits with this. What we see too. My favorite part is when kind of the trumpets kind of screech, just as Homer almost gets hit by the car.
Yeah, and like there's like where there's I forget the musical terminology, but it's like it does a like it does one of those with the trombones during when like they're turning the corner in a car or something like that. Like you're absolutely right. It fits completely with what you see on screen. And even when it does like this fast pan across all of Springfield and it shows all characters from The Simpsons blurred as it moves from one spot to the home location, it does like this run up the piano, and then like it perfectly fits what you see on screen too.
Yeah, and you make a good point with the trombone. The trombone is an underrated instrument. You got the great moments in the Simpsons theme song, all the dramatic stings in Lost, and the great trombone solo in Under the Sea and Little Mermaid. Like there's so many great trombone solos that people don't talk about.
That's true. I've never thought about like the versatility of trombone. We need to talk about trombones. I can just imagine like you when you have guests come over and be like, all right, have a seat. I got out the intervention banner. We need to talk about trombones. Like, Brian, not again.
Well, I was saving that for the next time you came over, but I'll think of something else now.
I know. I'm sorry. You got it. No, never mind. So that's my pick.
All right. So my number one, you saying how iconic your number one is, so I feel like we might have the same number one. Last time we did the theme songs, you were the one that went all the way back to like the 60s. Well, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to go all the way back even farther to, I think it's the 50s, to Mayberry with the Andy Griffith Show. Is that your number one?
I thought that what you were talking about was MASH, because the theme song to MASH, it technically has lyrics. "The Suicide is Painless." It's a song with lyrics, but whenever they play it on MASH, it doesn't have lyrics. And I didn't have it on my list, but it's a fantastic theme song. Yeah. So that's what you were going with. it. But no, Andy Griffith's not my number one. I might surprise you with my number one.
Well, I still think that Andy Griffith Show might have lyrics. I'm not sure, but I mean, everybody knows the Andy Griffith Show. It's such that whistling tune is just so iconic, and it brings the theme of like the not the theme, but like the vibe of the show. This like,
yeah. So here, hang on. Here it is. Here's that theme song.
Yeah, that's the Andy Griffith Show. Most chances are you've heard this before. It's one of those shows. It's older than like anyone listening to this podcast, probably, and we all still know it. It's that nice vibe of like this cute little town who's got nothing major problems going on. The fact that Andy and Barney can be the cops of the town kind of shows you what the crime rates are really like. Not really that bad, and I don't know. It's just kind of that old school TV that people. It's the TV shows that Lois and Peter were talking about on the Family Guy theme song.
Oh yeah, it's definitely classic, iconic. That whole walk of that's what the intro is. It's just them walking and whistling that song. Mm-hmm. Like that's it.
It's the kind of town that Marshall pretends New York is in How I Met Your Mother, in that episode where they show how nice he is.
It is. Oh, Marshall, what a good-hearted person.
But the reason I think it might have lyrics is there's a I think it's during one of the Emmys, Josh Groban was doing a mashup of singing a bunch of different TV theme songs, and he sang something about get your fishing pole and go to the fishing hole to the tune of the Andy Griffith Show. So I'm not sure if that might be the lyrics.
It's very possible. That is something I don't know. If you know, feel free to let us know, and you can even just text us with confidence, even if you don't know, and be like, yeah, that's for sure it. We'll be like, yeah, we believe you. We're not going to look it up.
Also, let us know if you know what happened to Josh Groban. For a couple of years, he was everywhere, and everyone talked about him, and now all of a sudden, no one talks about him anymore.
Man, what happened to Legos? You know what I'm talking about. Legos used to be simpler. By the way, we talked about The Wire last week. That guy is in The Wire, that teacher from Community.
Yeah, Marshall Kane.
Yep.
That's the character's name.
He plays Omar. All right, my number one. And once I say it, it'll be like, oh, yeah, this might be one of those you'd be like, why didn't I include this? But to me, it's one of the most iconic themes I can think of. And that is the theme from Jeopardy.
Oh,
everyone knows the theme from Jeopardy. It is like as great as Jeopardy is. Jeopardy is a very popular program. So I can't say that the theme song like outgrew the show because Jeopardy is a big deal. But the theme song is huge too. And the amount of money that the person, I forget, like I at one time looked this up and saw like they got a ton of money for all the use of the theme song to Jeopardy. And they sat down at the piano and wrote it in like 10 minutes or something like that. They're like, let's try this. Oh, this sounds good. And it's very simple. It's not like it's a complex song. Like to me, I feel like The Simpsons was a little bit more complicated in terms of what you're doing musically. Jeopardy is not. It's just a couple notes and a little ditty, and then the da na 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 na.
The best part is the little stinger pause. Da, 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 da,
Yeah, that little staccato at the end. I mean, like that's what great musicians do is they find a tag like that and they usually will build a whole song around it. But when you're doing a theme song, that's all you really need. It's just that to fill out that time while they're writing their Final Jeopardy answer or to introduce the show or just to play it out. It doesn't need to be that complicated, but somehow they got this earworm that just sticks with you. And because of how the repetition is of it too, once you start humming it, it's hard to get it out of your brain without like singing another song. Cause it doesn't have like a fitting end spot. It can keep going in your head. Mm-hmm. So,
you know who used the Jeopardy theme song without giving it any credit or money?
Who?
Me. When I made my, anti-chick flick with Dan's Clues that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Well done. I've heard it in other things, but it's like they did it in the Santa Claus. they use the theme from Jeopardy when they ordered like the food at the business meeting, and then like he's eating like the ice cream, and they're all just waiting for him to finish eating up the ice cream.
Oh yeah.
It's a great song. It's simple, and it's just so well done, and it's quizzical. It's like, write something that is quizzical. Okay, I'll write this. It's perfect. It
Yeah.
completely fits. Like, you can't think of another thing that would be like, okay, let's do this instead to for your thinking music, quote unquote. This is just the perfect theme,
Mm-hmm.
and nailed it.
One thing that instrumental ones do is it really allows you to create your own association with the show. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about, oh, are the lyrics really about what the show is going to be about? Like, it just kind of fits. I always think of that scene in Friends when I think it's the Odd Couple theme song. It might be a different show. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Where they're in the coffee house and they all start one by one humming and doing the theme song. They ended up all like breaking in together to do that.
Oh
I think it's
yeah,
the Odd Couple theme song.
you might be right. I know the episode you're talking about. I can remember, and then like I think Ross wanted to do it again or something like that. And
Ross
then
started a different song, and they're like, "No, we're
that's
done." Yeah,
right. That's right. Yeah,
and then, but like that's the thing with lyrics. Sometimes it's like, what is this? Like the community theme song, the tune of it is fine. If you look at the lyrics, it's really depressing. It's like,
yeah.
give me some of getting a rope, give me roped up, tied up, dead in a year. I can't find a reason I should stay. Like, it's really depressing when you look at the lyrics.
But the beat is all upbeat and happy.
Yep.
And then they had like their other variations of it too. They would do that instrumentally, like the Halloween episodes. Like they did like a ooh sort of version of it.
Yeah, they did like the Law and Order version of it. Like, whenever they do that, you can still hear the undertones of the actual melody. They don't change it.
Yeah.
They make a Law and Order version of the community theme song.
Yep. Hey, speaking of other earworms that like are really simple and out of it, so I had an honorable mention. This was on my list until I thought of one of the other ones that took its place. But I think the Twilight Zone theme is a great theme.
Yeah.
It's not even a theme. It's like a couple notes just repeated. It's one tag. It's that, and it's again that same dissonance where it's like this minor, like, ooh, that doesn't quite like sit in my brain well, but it grates there like a piece of sand in the in a clam. It's like it sticks with you, and it's just that perfect little, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's kind of like the theme to Jaws, where Jaws is just those two notes to build that suspense, and Twilight Zone is three notes. It's a really genius thing to just like play around with it. I don't know much about how long it took, but I'm sure that was another one like, oh, there we go, I've got it. And then that was it. They ran with it.
I also used the Jaws theme song in the anti-chick flick during the section when SpongeBob attacks.
Look at you. Just raking up all the rights that you owe money to.
Yep. So maybe sometime I should release the first actual movie I ever made. It's 30 seconds long. It's called Brian Drinks Milk. And yes, there's a sequel. The sequel is called Brian Drinks Juice.
Well, now you ruined it. Now I know that you survived the first one.
Did you say it was the same Brian?
I guess not. Now I don't even know. My whole world is upside down.
Now you're intrigued.
No, I don't want to watch Brian Drinks Milk and Brian Drinks Juice. You can post it. I don't think I'm going to watch it.
It's not just me sitting in front of the camera drinking. It's me getting up, walking to the kitchen, opening the kitchen, pouring the drink, going back, sitting down, drinking it, and then bringing the empty glass back to the kitchen with about probably 20 different camera angles, because I was like just experimenting with getting a camera, and I would like switch the camera angle, show my feet, switch the camera angle, show me opening the door, and it's like
why would you do that to yourself?
Because I was 15 years old and bored.
I'm gonna make me edit 20 different camera angles of me walking to the kitchen and getting a drink.
I was really impressed with myself because I actually put the camera inside the fridge so you can actually see me opening the fridge from inside.
I'm so impressed.
Yes. And in one of them, you can clearly see Mr. Movie's VHS sets on the counter, which really dates that.
True. Anything where you had to go to a place to rent the movie, bring it back to you, and then drop it off later at another date. that'll date it. It's been a while.
If anyone lives in Bloomington and you know where Tandy Leather is, 90th and Penn, that used to be Mr. Movies. That is the place where I would go all the time. And I was really bummed when they tore it down to make a leather store. That's still there.
What did leather ever do to you, man?
It took away my video store. Even though I don't live in Bloomington anymore.
Hey, did you have any other honorable mentions that you had thought of?
My main honorable mention was going to be The Office. We've kind of already talked about it.
Nice. Stranger Things has a pretty cool like synth beat too. It's not quite as iconic because I couldn't replicate it. I couldn't hum it for you. All the other songs I talked about, I could hum for you, even The Office and Twilight Zone. But I just know that like whenever it comes on, it's like, oh, it's this cool, like very 80s feel. And it's again in that minor key where it's, it's not just 80s where it's like peppy synth, but it's like looming synth, like, oh, something's coming. But it's 80s.
Yeah. Oh, I have an announcement to make. So instead of just saying it, I'm going to say it in a really complicated, stupid way that's going to confuse everybody, okay?
Already there. Go ahead.
All right. So I watched something, and metaphorically, it's like everything in my room is turning into a replacement spaceman who's making me feel insecure.
What?
I'm talking about the scene in Toy Story when Woody starts to see all of the Woody decorations and bedding and everything turn into Buzz Lightyear stuff, because the song that's playing during that part of the movie is called Strange Things Are Happening to Me. And
yes,
that's my way of saying I started watching Stranger Things. That's the way to announce that, right?
That's the worst way. You pick terrible ways to explain yourself. This podcast doesn't work if we're confusing our audience. We can't purposely choose confusion.
Well, if we explain ourselves and we say we're confusing them, then we can.
Okay,
that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm only an episode and a half in just because of time, me having time. But it's just interesting, I was like, oh, look, Toby from This Dust in it. Oh, nope, no, he's not anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was that guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember him.
I am intrigued, and we have a potential surprise podcast guest who might be on a Stranger Things episode later on.
Yep, Winona Ryder.
Yep.
Then that way, when this other surprise guest is the one that's on, the problem was just Winona Ryder. What is this crap?
Let's do what we did with Bob Saget, and then all of a sudden it's like making a running gag of brought up again.
Brought up again. We're so close to being done with this episode with no Bob Saget.
We could just keep promising different celebrity guests, and then they'll never know if we actually had them or if they actually canceled.
I think they would by listening. They might be able to figure it out.
You think so?
This episode turned into a production meeting. I don't know if anyone noticed that.
That's right. Next week we're having Queen Elizabeth.
Yep. She'll be on. It'll be great. I don't know if she watches TV. She has other things to do. Apparently, when she visited the U.S. back in like the 90s, one of the things that she brought over was her own toilet seat. That every time she had to go to the bathroom, someone would have to go in, take off the toilet seat that was there, put on the Queen's toilet seat, and then have her go to the restroom and then uninstall it and reinstall the other one.
That's a power move that I never knew I wanted to have until right now. I want to have a toilet seat guy.
You just carry it around. No, that's true. You would have your guy carry it. He'd have it like in a briefcase. Just everywhere you go, like, who is this guy? Oh, that's my toilet seat guy. I don't know if I have to go to the bathroom here, but, you never know.
If anyone wants to be my toilet seat guy, let us know at tvguyspodcast@gmail.com.
It pays terribly, and it also has zero benefits. It might have dental. He might give you the free toothbrush that he gets every 6 months when he goes in for a checkup. He can give that to you.
You think I go in every 6 months to the dentist?
That's true. What am I saying? All right. Well, it's trivia time. So last week, speaking of Winona Ryder 10 minutes ago, speaking of her, we talked about how Winona Ryder, when she was younger in the 90s, there was a girl from her hometown, Polly Klaas, that was abducted and that Winona Ryder, because it was from her hometown, she put out like this reward that anyone's information would get $200,000 or something like that. When nothing happened, or like it was either nothing happened after that, or that they found that she had sadly died, she dedicated one of her movies that she was working on at the time to Polyclass. Do you know what that movie was? Of course you do, because I said it beforehand.
Yeah, so I was going to act like I didn't, like you didn't tell me before we started.
Yeah, what was that movie? I don't know if you know this, Brian.
It's Big Men, right?
Yes, Big Men. No, it's Little Women, you turd. Yeah, Little Women, starring Winona Ryder. The one from, of course, the 90s, starring her, not the one that was just like 2 years old. And so this week's trivia, also from me, we talked about the theme from Peter Gunn, and that appeared in a very popular arcade game. That was the theme also from that arcade game. What was the arcade game that used the theme from Peter Gunn?
I don't know.
Oh, he stumped ya!
It's not the first time you've stumped me.
I know, but with like last week's one, like the thing with Winona Ryder, yeah, that's not like very common. This one I thought was a little more common knowledge than the other one. So I got you.
Well, if you know, tell us.
If you know, you know. Then you're like Brian.
Yep.
He's red-headed with a beard. I'm dark-haired and I'm weird. Dang it! I still screwed it up.
Yeah, you're gonna have your chance at the end here.
This is my shot. Man, nope, nothing. I'm sorry, guys. I've failed you. Try listening to other episodes where I don't fail you. I've got those every now and then. I don't fail you. So,
if you say so.
Speaking of not failing people, I don't think we know what we're doing next week.
No.
Just edit that out.
We will be back next week with a topic probably relating to television.
What was that pause? We'll be back next week with a topic, probably. All right, this week we're talking about TV. Anyway, we got to get out of here. We're falling apart. As always, I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
And we're reminding you to stay tuned and keep watching. Please don't leave us.